Between all the things Xbox and Bethesda's E3 showcase gave us to get excited about in the future, and all the new games and updates which arrived ready to play, June was a pretty awesome month. So let's take a quick look back through some of the highlights, just in case you missed anything.
We'll kick things off with the aforementioned showcase, which has quickly gone down as one of the best in E3 history. Xbox announced a ton of new exclusives, including Redfall, Slime Rancher 2, Forza Horizon 5, and The Outer Worlds 2. And that was on top of the closer look we got at massive titles like Halo Infinite, and the news that all of these amazing looking games will be coming straight to Game Pass on day one. And then Bethesda came through with a fresh glimpse of their self-described Han Solo simulator, Starfield. Although if the final game doesn't actually let us befriend a Wookiee, then we will be claiming false advertising.
While many of the games at the showcase gave us just enough to get our imaginations whirring, 343 Industries pulled back the curtain completely on what Halo Infinite's multiplayer is going to look like. And it looks pretty special. This time around, you'll be able to choose exactly when to deploy the equipment you pick up during the battle, storing them in your inventory until you find the right moment. Or why not pack your gear onto one of the game's shiny new vehicles, like the Razorback. Just be careful, because you'll find that Halo's vehicles are now in the habit of losing wheels and other important parts if they take too much damage. And if you smell something's burning, might be best to hop out and do the rest of the journey on foot.
For gamers who like everything in their lives to have that personal touch, June marked the return of Xbox Design Lab. From electric yellow buttons to bubblegum pink bumpers, Design Lab lets you customize your gamepad however you like, even inscribing a personal message onto it as well. So if you want a bright and orange and purple pad with lime green buttons and the word legend carved onto it, you can have it, whatever gets you through the day. And since it will be from the latest line of Xbox wireless controllers, at least whatever beautiful creation you come up with will benefit from things like texture grips and that dedicated share button.
June has, of course, been Pride Month, leading to all kinds of awesome events from Xbox and beyond, like Xbox UK being the headline sponsor for this year's DigiPride. There was all sorts of new rainbow flag swag available via the Microsoft Store for those who like to show their support IRL, while new gamer pics, profile themes, and avatar gear was released to kit out your digital self with. Games like Forza Horizon 4, Gears 5, and the Master Chief Collection also got in on the fun with some sweet new Pride cosmetics. And Xbox also spotlighted LGBTQIA+ stories with a carefully curated collection that included the likes of Tell Me Why, which was free to claim all month by the way, hope you picked that one up, Undertale, and The Outer Worlds, to name but a few.
While there was plenty of good news to go around in June, it was an especially good month for PC gamers, with the announcement of Windows 11, which Microsoft are humbly calling it the best Windows ever for gaming, and I don't blame them. It's quite a way to get your expectations going, and it looks like they might just have the goods to back it up. Games are going to look better than ever with the introduction of Auto HDR to make those colours pop, while they'll also load faster than ever thanks to a shiny new bit of tech called Direct Storage. And since the Xbox app is built into Windows 11, it will be super easy to start downloading games in their all-new improved glory from the store or Xbox Game Pass for PC. We can't wait to see how it looks on our Lenovo Legion computers that we use for our streams over on Twitch. Make sure to give us a follow now, alright?
And our final bit of breaking news for June is really more of a weather report, because it turns out the cloud is getting even bigger. Which would usually be the last thing you'd want to hear in the middle of the summer, but not this time. The Xbox Cloud has already allowed Game Pass Ultimate members to stream tons of major titles directly onto their consoles, PCs, and mobile devices, with loads of them even incorporating touch controls to make for an even better fit. And now you'll be able to access them straight from your web browser just by going to the Xbox website. So if your device is really tight for space, you don't even need to download an app to get your game on, because this cloud is nothing but silver linings. Now, without further ado, let's get straight into all the new games that June dropped on our doorstep. Pens and pencils at the ready, people. The month kicked off with a blast from the past as Sir Arthur charged forth once again in Ghosts and Goblins Resurrection. Old school gamers will be happy to hear that it makes for every bit as grueling a challenge as they remember, while newbies can rest assured that it does now come with an adjustable difficulty setting. Necromunda Hired Gun let players blast their way through the shadiest parts of the Warhammer universe. Turns out, being a freelancer is tough, no matter where you go.
2021's Summer of Sport continued this month with the Tour de France, and fans can race along at home with the official video game. And you don't even need to shave your legs for better aerodynamics. Chivalry 2 delivered another brutal round of first-person sword action, allowing you to get up close and personal with all kinds of medieval weaponry, maybe sometimes a little too close. And thanks to the Master Collection, Ninja Gaiden fans can now relive 3 of Ryu's greatest adventures in their most stunning form yet, which might make his continual defeats a little easier to swallow. Maybe.
It's got dungeons, it's got dragons, it's got a meaty new combat system, and a host of nasty creatures for you to try it out on. Dark Alliance is sure to scratch that Baldur's Gate itch that's been bugging you for way too long. And it hit Game Pass on day 1. It might have been more than 30 years since Alex Kidd first went bouncing across Miracle World, but this gorgeous remaster proved that he hasn't lost a step. Old school cartoon platforming at its finest, and released near the end of the month. Set within a futuristic world under attack from the weirdest creatures you've ever seen, Scarlet Nexus is the sort of epic action RPG we've come to expect from the gang behind Tales of Vesperia, except with giant slinky monsters and stiletto-wearing flower demons. Of course, why not? And finally, Curved Space rounded out the month. See what I did there? Pretty clever, right? With a twin-stick shooter that will have even die-hard genre fans scratching their heads thanks to its gravity-bending level design.
As usual, June brought us some great new content for the games that entered our lives months ago and just keep reeling us back in. Running around London causing all sorts of cyber mischief was already a blast in Watch Dogs Legions, but it's now an even smoother and more satisfying experience thanks to the 60fps performance mode, which Xbox Series X players are able to enjoy. June's update also gave Xbox One players and their next-gen buds the ability to play together like one big super hacker family.
It's one of the oldest video game stories in the book, but aliens are invading and we gotta blast them is as much a winner today as it was in the 80s, so Fortnite's extraterrestrial 7th season got off to a great start. And with cameos from some other famous space invaders on the way, it looks like we're in for a lot of fun. The Elder Scrolls Online already won us over by taking Bethesda's epic fantasy world and multiplayering the heck out of it, but with a free new next-gen update that adds improved textures, reflections, load times, and a 60 FPS frame rate, we might never want to leave Tamriel.
With its steady stream of spooky guest stars, Dead by Daylight acts as a sort of horror greatest hits album, and this month's players got to jam out with a real all-timer, Resident Evil's Nemesis. Being chased around Raccoon City's police station is sure to get you feeling nostalgic, as well as absolutely terrified, if I say so myself. Rainbow Six kicks off a new season called North Star and chucked in a new operator for good measure. With healing stations that can be deployed around the map to patch up your squad mates, Thunderbird is the perfect choice for players that want to look after others but without actually having to be in the same room as them. And ahead of its big Xbox console debut in July, Microsoft Flight Simulator got another tidy touch-up to its world, this time focusing on the Nordic nations. So if you're planning on heading over to Sweden or Norway for your first flight, you'll be in for a treat.
With 4 new maps, 5 new weapons, a new score streak, and a brand new mode, Season 4 of Black Ops Cold War has arrived with quite the loadout. And also, it lets you battle zombies in a zoo. Bonus. Nothing says summer blockbuster like a shiny new Fast and Furious movie in all its glistening, gravity-defying glory. So why not get in on the action by taking on the Rocket League in some of Dom Toretto's finest rides? I think one actually has a rocket booster in the film, which kind of makes sense for the game then, I guess. And speaking of block-busting crossover events, Sea of Thieves got a whole bunch of famous new scallywags to go sailing with, thanks to its awesome new Pirates of the Caribbean content. Season 3 will see you fighting alongside Jack Sparrow in a series of new tall tales and taking on Davy Jones himself to find out whether the pirate's life is in fact for you.
There is so much shooting and looting to be done in Borderlands 3 that it just doesn't make sense to go it alone. Partying up with a few buds lets you pack much more firepower, put paid to so many more bad guys, and in turn, unlock even more firepower. Isn't the circle of life just beautiful? Anyway, look, in June's Crossplay update, it gives you an even wider range of gun-toting degenerates to team up with across Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, Mac, Stadia, PC via Steam, and the Epic Game Store. When you're staring down a horde of actual literal demons, the last thing you want is a jittery frame rate to throw your aim off. So Doom Eternal players will be relishing the next gen upgrade, which has it running at a delightful, wait for it, 120 FPS in performance mode, while also adding an option for ray trace lighting and the pleasing balance of 4K 60 gaming. And the smart delivery feature on Xbox Game Pass means subscribers don't actually have to pay an extra demonic penny to enjoy it. And finally, Grounded proved it's a fun guy with the Shroom and Doom update, and it really does what it says on the tin, adding in variety of mushroomy buildings for you to play with, as well as a terrifying new arachnid called the Broodmother to bring the aforementioned Doom.
Almost nothing came out of E3 looking better than Xbox Game Pass, thanks to the incredible lineup of day one games which were revealed to be on the way in the coming months and beyond. There is literally a new AAA title arriving onto the service every month for the rest of the year. It is insane. But in the meantime, the Game Pass elves were kind enough to bestow us with a bunch of killer games this month, like the recent Yakuza rejig Like a Dragon, which takes the famous brawling series in a fascinating new direction. Then there was For Honor, for those who like their action with a slightly more classical feel, as well as a bunch of additional Bethesda titles like the multi-award winning, critically acclaimed and just really rather good Fallout 3.
So that was June, a month that gave us lots to enjoy and even more to look forward to, especially for Xbox Game Pass members and PC players with Windows 11 on the horizon. Let us know about your summer gaming plans in the comments down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and ring that bell for all the Xbox news. Bye bye.